Today I'm going to show you guys how to build a tactical repeater. What's up guys, it's Jay with Prepared Citizens. I hope this video finds you well. Hope you guys are good. Guys, today we're going to talk about building a tactical repeater. In just a second I'm going to move you down to the table where you can see what I'm doing and everything we're working with. I'm going to go through a parts list and everything. Before we get started, this information can actually be found in the book I've been telling you guys to read, in the Gorilla's Guide of the Baofeng Radio, or Baofeng Radio. You can find all this information there, and you can get as fancy as you want with this, or as simple as you want. And I would say the way we're going to be doing it is kind of a mid-grade. This is something you can actually carry in the field on some Minuteman missions or something like that. And you're going to be able to almost double your range. There's two reasons you would want to use a repeater. Let's go into those real quick. And my kids took my marker. Okay, as you were, found the marker. So, two reasons you're going to want a repeater. Number one is going to be distance. Distance is a simple one because let's just say with our given terrain and radios, let's say we're getting a mile. I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say it's some pretty heavy terrain, we're getting about a mile in distance, being able to talk to each other with hearing each other well. Well, with a repeater, you can put the repeater at that 1 mile mark, and then your team members can go another mile beyond that, and you're still going to be able to talk to each other because all you have to hit now is that repeater between you, right? And reason number two you'd want a tactical repeater is if you're working in elevated positions. Like, let's say our TOC is over here. Here's our little command base. On this side, there's a big mountain here, and this is where our team is. Okay? We got our patrol team over here. Well, the TOC and the team they're not going to talk to each other because this flipping mountain. Now, if you got a repeater up here, now the team can hit that repeater and the TOC can hit that repeater. Everybody can talk to each other, okay? So those are the reasons you're going to want a tactical repeater. And I think that should explain that very well. Obviously, if someone has questions, drop them in the comments. But without further ado, let's jump down to the table here and let's finish building my tactical repeater I'm going to be showing you guys. Alright, so let's go through kind of the parts list of what we need to get started. So number one, we want a good waterproof box. This is one, it's Apache. You can pick these up at Harbor Freight, super cheap. I think it was like 30 bucks. It's going to be perfect for what we're wanting to do, okay? You've got to drill holes in it, and I'm going to show you. I've already drilled mine, but I'm going to show you where they went and that kind of stuff. And so that's going to be the main thing you want. Number two, I've already got one installed, but you're going to want two of these connectors here. This one's going to go to the radio. This one's going to go to an antenna. This is all BNC stuff. So you should have your radios all BNC'd out, just like I've been telling y'all. You're going to want two identical radios. These are just some Baofeng UV5Rs. I think these are the 8-watt models, but same thing. And of course, I've already got them BNC'd. Got my BNC adapters up top. You're going to want that. It just makes everything in life so much simpler. I went ahead and put some extended batteries on these, so it's going to help it last longer in the field. You want to make sure these are charged just like you would any of your normal patrol radios. Of course, we're going to want two good antennas. That's why we got here the Signal Stuff Signal Stick antennas. These are the best that I have found for handheld radios. BNC, on and off real quick. Super, super, super dependable. I have not broke one of these yet. These are amazing. Antennas made in USA. You can buy them on the website. We got two protective caps because there's going to be BNC connectors sticking out of here. And when they're not in use, we don't want big old antennas sticking up. So we got some protective caps to keep the ends of those protected. And last but not least, kind of the magic sauce to this whole thing is this RC108 Yin Yenotone. It basically turns two radios into repeaters, into a repeater. So I can't explain the science inside of this thing, but these are super nifty. Again, I found out about these through reading the Baofeng, the Gorilla's Guide to the Baofeng Radio. So if you read that book, it'll talk about those, and that's how I found out about them. But without further ado, we're going to finish this thing out. I've already got one installed here. One of my adapters installed. You can see, let me get it. I'm trying to do this without looking. I'm looking at the camera. So the BNC end sticks out just like that. You know what? Let's take this tag off. Alright, so here we go. We got our BNC adapter, and with that sticking out like that, that is why we're going to want the protective cap to keep on there. So nothing, no dirt gets in there. Do not want to mess up our, sorry I keep getting out of the camera. Do not want to mess up our antenna end. So on the other side, we got our hole. For these adapters, these are made, I think I picked these up on eBay by a company that makes them. But I can't remember the name of it. It's like Wi-Fi Guys or something like that. Anyway, they custom make these things. These are made in USA. You order them, they make them. So, 1/2 inch hole. Be sure to deburr it a little bit. And we're going to stick it through just like so. And we're going to put our little washer on there. Did I put that the right way? Yeah. There we go. Put our washer on there. Put the nut on there. And we're going to tighten it down. And to tighten those, oh crap. Keep getting out of the camera, I'm sorry guys. I am not good at this. I do all this by myself, so I don't have no one telling me like, hey, get back in the camera, dude. There we go, finally got it started. We're going to need a 5/8 and 11/16 wrench to get that tight. Now it does have an O-ring on the inside, so it's still going to be waterproof, guys. So yeah, see if I can get a good angle on this. Again, this is not my norm. You're not going to want to tighten this crazy tight. I mean, basically when you feel it bottom out real good, don't go too much, because this is going to stay really well. Alright, so now we have both of our antenna adapters in here. Make sure you guys can see. So simple. So we can go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put that other cap on this one. There we go. Nice and pretty. Alright, so now we're going to start putting our foam in and kind of getting everything arranged in here the way we want it. So I may fast forward through some of this because I don't see everybody wanting to watch all of it. That you put the receive and transmit radio on the correct side. So just a heads up. So this is going to be our transmit radio, and this is going to be our receive radio. So once we hook these up, we're going to have them on their little spot that you kind of have for them. I guess what I'm saying is already be thinking about which one goes where. So you guys will see how it goes here in just a second. Let's go ahead and hook our receive, transmit ends of the relay into our radios. Okay, and then we're kind of left with what you see here. So this is how I got the foam plucked. Alright guys, so here's the end result here. As you can see, we got the relay in the middle. It's pointing to our receive, pointing to the transmit. Volume wise, you're going to want to run these about 80%. And then when people uses their radio to transmit on them, it will be pretty straightforward. So, pretty simple. And effective.
Frequency mode.
There you go. You can talk to whoever you need to by extending the distance. Oh, and I almost forgot. Our antennas. So, when you're putting your antennas on, well, for storage, they're going to be fine just to throw in there and close this up. And see, when you're carrying it around, you have your protectors. No big deal. Then, when you need to deploy it, you're going to take your antennas. Cool thing about signal sticks, they fold up. You unfold them. Don't let it whip you in the face. Take your caps off. I just plucked me a little spot where I could just stick them right there so they don't get lost. There you go, just stick them in there. Stick your antennas on. And now you can set this thing up somewhere and camouflage it the best you can. And there you go. Now you have a tactical repeater setup that is pretty awesome. And again, it works really well. Okay. You're going to hear all that because we're so close. Typically, you'd want to be a good ways away. Alright guys, I hope that helps you. Again, if you want to skip building all this, figuring it out yourself, I am going to be selling these. These are going to be on the website before long, and it's going to literally be this exact setup. Alright, now that we're done building the repeater, and by the way, thank you guys for bearing with me. I know I'm not savvy with the camera works and keeping it in the camera for working on this thing. But now that we got the repeater built, that's the easy part. So now we've got to program our radios. And this is the most important part. This is crucial to make all this work. Otherwise, you just assembled a paperweight. So there's two programming setups you have to do. One is going to be for the repeater. The other is for your team comms. So we're going to start with the repeater. And for all this that we're doing right now, just start in frequency mode. And we're just going to manually do this, okay? So for the repeater, the transmit and receive is going to be two different radios. Because remember, our relay has a transmit and receive side. So anyway, so for the transmit radio, we're just going to put in 145.000. It's going to be the frequency we're going to be transmitting out of the repeater on. So keep that in mind. Put that in your transmit radio, and it is done now. Alright, so the receive radio, we're going to be doing it at 446.000. That is going to, we're going to explain in just a second how to set the team comms up for this. So that is one thing that adds to the security, as well as having such a difference in the frequencies, transmit and receive frequencies. It's going to make someone really have to work to be able to pick up your conversation. So, alright, with the receive radio, we also want to put a receive tone in, and that's going to be the RCTCS tone, and that is menu number 11, by the way. Menu number 11. But we're going to do that tone at 67 hertz. 67. So those are done. You can actually plug those into their appropriate places, set them in your repeater, and you're good to go now. Let's move on to the team comms, because this is extremely important, and you got to have this one right. Everyone's radio needs to be just like this to be able to talk through the repeater. And keep in mind also, this is all going to be one radio. Okay, so this is each radio. This was 2 separate radios. This is all one radio. Alright, so receive is going to be 145.000. That's going to be all you got to put there. Now we're going to start working in the menu. So keep in mind that you could do the dual monitoring and set this up on one and set the transmit up on another. You could do that, but there's a lot slicker way to do this where you're only using one line on the radio, and that way if you had to reserve the other line, if you needed to switch lines for, say, a contingency plan or something like that, you still got that other line open. So I like to do it like this. So for the transmit, first off we got to put an offset, which is menu number 25. We're going to do a positive offset of 301. So that's going to give us our transmit. And if you add 301 to 145, it's going to give us 446. So now when you hit the transmit button, this is what you're transmitting at. And while you're monitoring, this is what you're going to be receiving at. Okay, so it's a cool little tidbit trick that keeps it, simple. And a lot of people don't use it, which I need to. Alright, so for this, we want to have a transmit tone. So that's going to be menu number 13. And we're going to put in a T, C, T, C, S. That's our transmit tone. And we're going to match it 67 Hertz. Okay. If you've done all this so far, everything should work correctly. You should be good to go. So I really look forward to helping anyone. If you got any questions, please drop in the comments, all that good stuff. And, please let me know. I hope I explained this well. Again, please check out the book, the Baofeng, the Guerrilla Guide to the Baofeng Radio. It goes into stuff like this. There's so much stuff, antenna building, all kinds of stuff in that book. So this is just a tidbit that I learned from that book. And a lot of people are really intimidated by this stuff, and that is perfectly okay. Trust me, I get it. So that is one reason I'm going to be offering this too, for people to help them out, kind of bypass a lot of the craziness and help them get started, I guess. So, alright guys, thank you so much. Again, if you got anything, please drop it in the comments. Let's see, make sure, go to preparedcitizenstg.com, pick up a Badass Medical Kit or a pre-programmed radio, or soon keep an eye out on the website or sign up on the email list for when tactical repeaters are going to be dropping on the website. That way you can just pick one up completely ready, just like this. So guys, again, I appreciate you watching, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Remember to be an asset to everyone around you, not a liability. And I'll see you guys on the next one. God bless.